Hello and welcome to SquishiVision, where I'm reacting to Picard Bounty, albeit not immediately after I've watched it, but a few days afterwards. I watched it on Friday evening, on a train down to Warwick for a St. John Ambulance conference. And my intention, and I made notes while I was watching it because I knew I wasn't going to live stream afterwards. But my intention was something vaguely like I was going to live stream in my hotel room, use my iPad, and give my thoughts there. I ended up falling asleep as soon as I got into my hotel room, which wasn't great. So I didn't do it then. I was very busy since. I've not had a chance in the evening, so I'm kind of giving my thoughts now based on my notes, not having just watched it like I normally do. But this is my thoughts. Again, Vadik being a Shakespearean villain is great. I wish I could get to a level of acting where I can have that commitment to dialogue, that I can just chew it so excellently. And it's very much worth the wait seeing Worf bounce off the rest of the TNG crew. It's definitely something that we've been missing. Well, not missing, but with this episode, every member of the TNG main cast except for Will Wheaton and the cast members who didn't, all the cast members who lasted to the end, essentially, have now appeared and are appearing all in the same episode, albeit to different levels. But Worf got a chance to bounce off Picard, bounce off Worf, bounce off Crush to a smaller degree, and it felt it was well worth the wait. It's like the characters never went away, so that was great. There are a lot of Easter eggs in this episode, and it was like chocked full of Easter eggs, but it never felt it was done very, very well. It was done such that, you know, it didn't take up from the plot, it didn't feel padding, it didn't feel like it was pandering to for no reason. It actually felt genuine and it made sense. It was just such a good nostalgia kind of. It was a nostalgia bait, but it was done well. Like we saw in the Data Institute, we saw Genesis device, we saw Kirk's body. I mean, why is that there? We really gloss over why he was put into the Data Institute, which is a very unceremonial place to put one of the greatest heroes of the Federation, right then in a grave. Like, what were they so scared about his body that they had to put it into here? And that's, I mean, I'm sure that's not where Kirk would have been buried. Kirk seems so much to kind of, oh, well, I want to be buried in Earth soil. That's in there. There's a whole new Genesis device. Like we gloss over these, but like, I think we should delve. Actually, no, I think we should delve into why Kirk's body is in. I don't know if we're gonna, because it seems like an Easter egg. But I guess it sets up the twist at the end, which I'll get to in a second. Wasn't so thrilled with the attack Tribble. I love Tribbles, they're cute. I've got Tribble over there, and I should provide for the review. I love Tribbles, they're so cute, they're adorable. I know that I have beef with Klingons, but I don't want to imagine the vicious, kind of almost spidery maw underside of a Tribble. No thank you. I also, like, I don't know if it's deliberate or not, but why can Worf have a bit of antagonism? Not like, you know, falling out antagonism, but they have a bit of conflict, have a bit of a back and forth, bit of an argument. And I wonder if that's a nod to in how they were a bit antagonistic in Awkward Things, where argue with each other a bit more, a bit less fluidly. It might be nod to that, might not be nod to that. Moriarty came back. Kinda. It was nice to see him again. It's kind of disappointing that all he came back for was to be used as a kind of small plot device in the larger scheme of things, building up to the data reveal. But I mean, it still works. It's still great. Spoiled a bit by the trailer, and maybe if I hadn't spoiled it and I hadn't hyped up that reappearance, it would have been great. But it was good. I like the character. I mean, I guess it's not really like I like him. It's not really like a big favorite, so I guess I'm not that kind of upset that it wasn't used very well. Geordie's back and he's looking brisk as ever, and well, Geordie, sorry, he's not looking brisk. He's acting brisk, as ever, as always, very much. But damn, he's looking really, really good. You can tell he was one of the younger members of the cast, but he looks really, really good. I love the kind of evolution of his character, where you expect him to be, like all good engineers, very loyal to his captain. And he is very loyal to Picard, but he's also cognizant of the fact that he's a parent, he's a father now, he's got duties to his children, and that makes sense, and that's a natural off-screen progression I expect to see from the character, and LeVar Burton plays it very, very well. Also, just back to the Moriarty thing, the Farpoint callback, the actual footage being used. I did make a note here, but I was also a bit confused that the AI was like giving Riker, like identified Riker as a threat, and then it was giving him kind of puzzle video game style solutions to overcome the security. Like, well, that doesn't make any sense, but it actually turns out that Data wanted him to do that once he verified his intention and his identity. So that was me not paying attention. That was me kind of being me doubting too early. I'm going back and forth because I'm reading off my notes. But Jodie not being helpful was quite sad, but I understood his reasons. And yeah, we saw with this episode basically paid homage to every single era of Star Trek. We got the Enterprise A, which is the only surviving Enterprise from the original series era, because obviously the one that was in the show it hadn't survived, but the one in the films survived. Then we saw, I guess we didn't get anything from the Next Generation, but I guess everything else in the show is from the Next Generation. But we saw with Defiant, technically Defiant A, so we got DS9 there, and we saw Voyager. And look, I don't particularly like Voyager's theme tune. I think it's actually my least favourite theme tune. Yes, I like it even less than Enterprise. I actually like Enterprise's theme tune. Well, I mean, I'm fine with it. I don't have any strong opinions, I should say. But I didn't grow up watching Star Trek. I always started watching Star Trek when I was like 10, 12, 11. So about for the last okay, well, I said I didn't grow up watching Star Trek, but actually at this point that's a decade and a half. I didn't realise it'd be that long, so I guess that counts. A decade and a half ago, I started watching Star Trek. I think DS9 was the first one I watched, but it was on CBS Action or something else, a channel like that, and they used to broadcast an episode of DS9 and an episode of Voyager, so I kind of got used to both of them at the same time before I got used to either series. So I'm very used to the Voyager theme tune, and just hearing it and seeing the ship and seeing your footage, it made me feel nostalgia for a decade and a half ago. I think it's probably the most recent nostalgia I've ever felt, and some great fan service there. Like, that was fun. And the bounty came back from the one with the whales, which pretty much Jack Crusher says. And some just like character points. Sydney having the armor piercing question, a point that breaks Jodie out of his kind of protectiveness. Liam Shaw has an extra dimension to his character that they just keep layering on nuances to his character. Him getting flustered and all nerdy over LaForge and like just saying it's a pleasure how to meet him, and getting very kind of like self-conscious because he's meeting a hero. That was such a good added touch. I love that they're humanizing this character so well. Okay, so they find Data. They find Brent Spiner plays, well, technically, okay, Brent Spiner plays another character. Technically, this is a different character. This is, I think he's got like a Dasham designation more than a name. And it's established that they loaded this, so it's a golem. It's a golem that Sung made after the Picard golem. So it's technically like flesh and blood, but flesh and blood android. And it was loaded with a whole combination of like Data, Law, Before, Sung, Lal, and they were quite cool. So it's kind of a character who's flickering between all these different characteristics. So it's interesting to see where that goes. So it's not Data brought back, but also kind of is Data brought back, and it's kind of cheapening his death, but also kind of not. I don't know how I feel about it, because like we obviously keep bringing back Brent Spiner to play new roles, and how is this any different from his other human roles that he plays. So, but in some ways they are bringing back Data, and they do address him. They do address him as Data, so I feel like functionally he's going to become Data, and I'm like, it would be kind of good if we actually. I mean, Data's death was actually kind of done well when season 1 Picard, but. You know, and they also been really all blasé about Law being a component there. Like, they acknowledge that Law is potentially a strong controlling part of this android's body, and they're like, yeah, we'll just be chill about it. We won't make any kind of, you know, safety measures. But Jodie's kind of very underplayed, but notable reaction seeing Data again. The way that his face is kind of like involuntarily kind of shows emotion in some way. It was just so like my heart broke. And you know, seeing Spanner act, even though I'm not sure how I feel about Data being brought back in a fashion, seeing Spanner act is so fun to watch. Seeing him act as Data, but also seeing him like act as before on Law, and this is the first time we've seen him before performances since Nemesis. Oh gosh, that was a horrible sentence. It's the first time we've seen him before performances since Nemesis. Wow. But yeah, like seeing him flip through the characters that he played. Vince Mann's a very good talent, very good at playing all these multifaceted roles and nuances. That was amazing. And I like, it was strange because it was a big deal that Picard technically died in the first season and everything since there's been the Golem and this whole thing about, well, it's a different body but he's the same person and he's treated the same person. And it's, in a sense, it feels like we kind of ignored that whole big thing, and maybe that's kind of the point, but it was like, oh, well, his original body died and we're just going to move on to something that happened and what's the point of going through it kind of deal. But this actually kind of embraces it. It's like, it makes it a plot point. So the twist at the end is that the Daystrom Institute kept Picard's original body, which you'd think he'd know about. Like, you'd think he'd be like, oh, by the way, like, what did you do with my original body? Which means it's classified. Unless he didn't know, which is very possible. Like, I would be like, where's my body, yo? So now we got wonder what changing to doing with the body. You don't need a body to imitate a body, but maybe this gives them even like more potent replication. We're wrecking through the depths of yellow shirts in this series. Like, they just get vaporized. Like, so many times they like vaporized. Not just shot, not just in, just vaporized immediately. And without even knowing, changing to vaporizing is going on to the point of insignificance. Like, these are people with families and children, probably. You know? Anyway, I should probably go to bed because I've got to be up in like an hour. So, thanks for tuning in. And I will see you guys. What day is it today? Thursday. Oh yeah, so I need to watch Bad Batch because I couldn't watch that last night. So we'll watch that this evening. So I'll see you later on for that. Goodbye.